Okay. Today we are going to start with the unit number 6. Before that, I want to tell you that there is another chapter in unit number 5. We will conduct that lecture after the unit number 6 is completed. In unit number 6, there are two topics. First is design of column and second one is column footing. So that you can start your column design as well as your footing design. Therefore, I am taking this unit firstly, and then the unit number fifth, third chapter we are going to discuss. Okay, second chapter. Okay, now see what is column. Column is nothing but a compression member, which you know. Okay, columns are the vertical members, and mostly the load, whichever the load is coming on that, is nothing but the compression load. Therefore, the column is known as the compression member. Okay, column is nothing but a compression member. Okay, see here, the effective length of which exceeds 3 times the least lateral dimension. Means what? This is your column, this is your lateral dimension, okay? And the length of this L is greater than, that is 3 times the greater than your width. Means L is greater than how many times? 3 times, okay? uh, uh, to the lateral dimension is known column. Okay, column is nothing but a compression member. The effective length of which exceeds 3 times the least lateral dimension. Okay. Okay. See, there are types of column. There are types of column. For this, if you go for clause number 25 1.2, page number 42 or 41, you can see there are three types of columns. First is pedestal, short column, long column. Okay, what do you mean by pedestal? Let's see what do you mean by pedestal. Okay, pedestal is nothing but if the length of column is less than 3 times its lateral dimension is known as the pedestal. Means what? As you know, what is column? Column is nothing but is whose length is greater than or more than 3 times the lateral dimension, maybe whatever it may be, b, whatever the thickness, then it is known as the column. But in this, there is three types. Pedestal. Pedestal we are going to see. Pedestal is what? Pedestal is when its length is less than the 3 times its lateral dimension, that is known as the pedestal. Okay, it may be LEX, may be LEY. Okay, it is called as the pedestal. The other horizontal dimension D shall not exceed 4 times the B. Here, LEX, maybe it's in the X direction, it may be B or it may be B or it may be D, whatever is the lateral dimension. Okay, if it is less than your any of 3 times of the lateral dimension, it is nothing but the pedestal. But see, the dimension of the D, it shall not exceed, means your D should not be greater than 4 times of B in the pedestal. This is the second case. First case is LEX upon D is less than less than 3, or LEY upon D is less than 3. Okay, and second is your D should not be greater than the 4 times of your D is known as the pedestal. Okay, second, short column. What is short column? If both the cylindrous ratio, that is LEX upon D, LEY upon D. What is LEX upon this? LEX upon D and LEY upon B. This is known as the cylindriness ratio. If the cylindriness ratio is less than equal to 12, the column is called as the short column. Means if you do LEX upon D and LEY upon B, if this is less than equal to 12, then that column we call as the short column. Okay, that column is known as the short column. Okay, what is the long column? Long column is nothing but the vice versa of your short column. If LEX upon D, that is the cylindrous ratio, is greater than 12, it is known as the long column. It is the cylinder column is respect of the major or minor axis of the respectively. Means this is a major axis, this is a minor axis. Okay. If both cylindriness ratio are greater than 12, it is the cylinder column in respect to both the axes. Means what? This column, it is may be known as cylinder column or it may be known as the long column. Here, see here, LEX means what? The effective length of column in respect to the major axis, and D is nothing but the depth in respect of the major axis. LEY is nothing but the effective length of the column in respect of the minor axis. LEY in minor axis and LEX is major axis. Okay, okay, and B is the width of the member. This is what the different types of column. Pedestal, you know, pedestal is nothing but when the cylindrous ratio is less than 3, then it is known as the pedestal, but the D should not be greater than 4 times of your D. Okay, that is known as the pedestal. Short column is nothing but cylindrous ratio should be less than equal to 12, and long column is nothing but the vice versa of your short column, that is cylindriness ratio should be greater than 12. Okay, and LEX LEY is nothing but the effective length of your column in major axis, and LEX is nothing but the effective length, okay, effective length of column in respect of the minor axis. Okay, now what is the stress variation diagram? Okay, for column, see here, if you see the diagram. If you see the diagram, you can go through. Here it is parabolic in nature up to this. That is, stress is directly proportional to strain. Okay, here stress and strain. Okay, up to 0.02, up to 0.002 strain and 0.446 Fc. The diagram is going parabolically, and that it is then it is going to be constant. Okay, up to parabol, that is up to 0.002 strain and up to 0.446 Fc. The diagram is parabolic. Okay, then then after the strain, when the strain is 0.0035, it is going to stop its constant. Okay, and here, see, you can see this is the equation for this parabolic curve, that is FCC is equal to 0.446 FCA bracket EC minus 250 EC square. Okay, this is what the stress strain diagram for your column. Okay, next, the effective length. Now, effective length. There will be the effective length for the column. Okay. For this, you have to go to clause number 25.2 of IS 456, table number 28. Let's see. Hmm. Page number 42, page number 42 of IS 456, clause number 25.2. Here, clause number 25.2, effective length of compression member. In the absence of more exact analysis, the effective length L effective of column may be obtained as described in annexure E. Okay, then you are going to go for the annexure E. Okay, see here on page number 94, on page number 94, on page number 94, See here, here are the condition given for every state of the equation. Okay, here are the values are given you. See, is effectively held in position and restrained against rotation in both ends, nothing but it is the hinge. Then your theoretical value of effective length is 0.50 and recommended value of effective length is 0.658. Similarly, there are different kinds of condition given, and for that you have to use this values of your for the calculation of effective length of the compression member. Okay, here are all the values. For this, you have to move to the page number 94. Page number 94. Okay, page number 94 of IS 456, table number 28. Okay. Okay, here is the calculation for the effective length. Here page number 94 of table 28. Okay, now types of column reinforcement. Okay, there are three types of column reinforcement we can provide. There are three types of column reinforcement we can provide. First is longitudinal or main reinforcement, second is transverse or lateral reinforcement, and third one is the helical reinforcement. But mostly we are dealing with the longitudinal and transverse reinforcement. Okay. Now see here. Longitudinal or main reinforcement. For this, you have to move to the clause number 26.5.3.1. Okay. What clause number 26.5.3.16? Longitudinal reinforcement or the main reinforcement we are going to use to resist the axial load and the bending moment. See here. Here is the column. This whatever the vertical member you are going to vertical bars you are going to provide, it is nothing but your longitudinal reinforcement or the main reinforcement. Why you are using this longitudinal or the main reinforcement? You are going to use this for the registration, for the resistance of your axial load, whatever the axial load is going to become, and due to this axial load there going to be some kind of bending to this column. Okay, there will be some kind of bending to this column. This is nothing but uh, this is nothing but is used for this longitudinal reinforcement is used for to resist this axial load and the bending moment. Okay, now see here. Why you are using transverse? Okay, transverse is this is our column. These are the longitudinal. Again, you are using the transverse also. Okay, transverse reinforcement. Okay, why you are using transverse reinforcement? You are using transverse reinforcement for the resistance, for the shear force, and shears a small fraction of axial load is provided in the form of helical reinforcement. If this transverse reinforcement is provided in the form of helical reinforcement, then it may be a small fraction of whatever the axial load coming on the column and keeps the main reinforcement in position, means whatever the main reinforcement you have provided here, okay, to keep it in the position and to prevent from the buckling or to prevent from the buckling, this transverse reinforcement is used. Okay, first it is for the to resist the shear force and it also shares small axial load. If you are provided with both transverse as well as helical reinforcement, then it is going to resist the small fraction of what we call as axial load also, and keeps the reinforcement, main reinforcement in the position, and it will prevent from the buckling also. Okay, this is what the longitudinal or the transverse or reinforcement or the lateral reinforcement. Okay, here according to that clause, the longitudinal reinforcing bar in the form of vertical steel are used to carry the compressive load along with the concrete. See, these are the vertical steel that is known as the whatever I have told you before you. That is the longitudinal reinforcing is nothing but the your this vertical reinforcement. Okay, and these are used for to carry the compressive load along the concrete. Okay, next, IS requirements for design of column. What are the IS requirements? If you are designing a column, what are the IS requirements you are required for the areas of longitudinal steel? Okay, here is given. First is areas of longitudinal steel. What amount of area? That is nothing but the AST of the longitudinal. Okay, the AST of the longitudinal. Second is the minimum number of the longitudinal reinforcement. Okay. Third is C is diameter of longitudinal steel. D is spacing of the longitudinal steel. Hello. Okay. E is the nominal cover to the longitudinal steel. These are what the requirement of your IS as per the IS. Okay. First, we will go to the areas of longitudinal steel. Okay. See here. What area should be provided to the longitudinal? The minimum AST should be greater than 0.80% of your gross area. Means what? Whatever the gross area, okay, whatever the gross area for the steel, okay, whatever the gross area of of your column is nothing but it's nothing but the AST minimum. Okay, it is nothing but the AST minimum. Okay, it should be greater than 0.80% of A gross. Now see, whatever the AST, it should be not greater than your 4% of gross area of your column. Okay, okay. Now, in no case, it doesn't exceed. Here, whatever the area of the steel, it should not be greater than your 6%. It should not be greater than your 6%. When bars from column below have to be lapped with those in the column under consideration. Means what? See, you can't provide a steel bars up to whatever the length of 2-story, 3-story. You have to lap it. Okay, when you are going to lapping it, then the area should not be greater than 6%. Okay, the area should not be greater than the 6%. Okay, next is minimum number of next is minimum number of for rectangular bar. So for the rectangular column, if your column, the minimum number of longitudinal bars should be 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. For circular, okay, here for circular, it should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is what the for the minimum number of longitudinal bars. Okay, mostly the question in the exams are asked. What is the minimum number of steel is provided for the column? If it is a rectangular, the minimum is 4, and if it is a circular, the minimum value is 6. Okay. Now, 6 is diameter of the longitudinal. See, diameter of the longitudinal. The diameter should be greater than the 12 mm. Whatever the diameter you are going to provide, it is greater than the 12 mm. Now, the spacing of the longitudinal bar. See here, the spacing of the longitudinal bar. Okay, minimum spacing between two main bars. Minimum spacing between two means if this is your column, okay, if this is your column, here 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the spacing between the two parallel bars? If it should be greater than the diameter of the larger bar. Whatever the size of bar you have provided, the most largest, it should be greater than that. If you are provided with the 16 mm, then the spacing should be greater than the 16 mm. Okay, or the maximum size of coarse aggregate you have used plus 5 mm, you have to increase it. If you are using 20 mm size of your coarse aggregate maximum size, then it should be 20 plus 5, that is 25 mm. It should be greater than that. Okay. Next, nominal cover. Okay, nominal cover is the nominal cover for your steel, the main reinforcement. It should be 40 mm, or second diameter of the longitudinal bar. Okay, if your diameter of the bar is 16 mm, okay, then the nominal cover should be whichever is greater. Mostly you are going to go with the 40 mm. Yeah, the most of the highest diameter you are going to use is 25 mm. Okay, and whichever is greater, that is nominal cover is 40 mm and the diameter of the longitudinal bar is 25 mm. The whichever is greater, that is nothing but the 40 mm is the greater value. You have to provided with the nominal cover as the 40 mm. Now, in case of columns of width 200 mm, in case of column, there will be just some size of your column. There will be the length. Okay, there will be, you are provided with the length, breadth, and the thickness. And if the width of your column is 200 mm, if the width of your column is 200 mm or less, then the longitudinal bar should not be greater than 12 mm diameter. The nominal cover of that should be 25 mm. If the width of the column is 200 mm, okay, they or it is less than the 200 mm, then you have to go directly using the bar of 12 mm, and the cover, nominal cover, you are going to provide it as the 25 mm. If otherwise your width of the column is greater than 200 mm, then you can go for the greater value of the diameter, that is greater than the 12 mm diameter, and the cover should be the nominal cover should be, it may be 40 mm or the diameter of the longitudinal bar, whichever is the greater. Now going to the transfer of, or the lateral reinforcement. For this you have to move to the clause number 26.5.26.5.3.2b. Okay, if the longitudinal bars are not spaced more than 75 mm, okay, means what? If this is your bar and the spacing, if the longitudinal bars are not spaced more than 75, if it is not more than 75 mm or it is below them, then on either side the transverse reinforcement shall only go round cover. Okay, transverse shall be around the corner. Okay, should be around the corners, and alternate bars for the purpose of providing effective lateral support, and alternative bars are provided for the purpose of the, okay, see here in the diagram. Okay, these are your longitudinal reinforcement, and the distance between these two is not, it is less than 75. Then here you have to provide with, then here you have to provide with only the, at the corners you have to provide the transverse reinforcement. Here at this, here corner, okay, at this corner you are going to provide the transverse reinforcement. Okay, otherwise if the distance between the, if the distance between the two longitudinal reinforcement is greater than 75, then have to provide it at all sides. Okay, here if the longitudinal bar spaced at a distance not exceeding 48 times the diameter of the tie, four times the diameter of the tie are effectively diameter of the tie are effectively tied in two directions, or additional open ties are also provided in between longitudinal bars. If the spacing is greater than 75 mm, or if it is not greater than four times the diameter of the bar, then you have to provide it. You have to go with the you have to provide the tie as well as the additional open ties are also provided. Okay, third one is longitudinal bars and compressive members are placed in more than one row. If your longitudinal bars are placed in more than one row, okay, there are number of rows are provided. Then, as per the clause number 26.5.3.2b, 3.1, the transverse reinforcement is provided for the outermost row. Only at the outermost row you have to provide the transverse reinforcement. And according to clause number 26.5.3.2, B32, number of bar of the inner row is closer to the nearest compression phase than three times the diameter of the largest bar in the inner row. See in the diagram you can see, okay, the number of rows are more, then as per the clause number 2 or as per the clause number 26.5.6.2b 32, whatever the number of bars, then you have to provide the separate transverse reinforcement to the inner row so that you can nearest to the compression phase, then 3 times the diameter of the largest bar in the inner row. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the pitch and the diameter of the lateral tie? That means whatever the transverse reinforcement you are going to provide, that is nothing but the lateral ties. It is known as the lateral tie. In the case of beam, you called it as the stirrup, and here it is going to be lateral tie. Okay. Pitch means what? Pitch of the transverse reinforcement shall be at least the least lateral dimension. Pitch is nothing but the spacing between the tie. Okay. The least lateral dimension of the compression, or 16 times the smallest diameter of the longitudinal reinforcement bar to be tied, and 300 mm. Whichever will be the least one in the is shall be at least of this. Okay, it may be the whatever the least lateral dimension of the compression member. Okay, maybe B or maybe D, or it may be 16 times the smallest diameter of the longitudinal bar. If you are provided the longitudinal bar with the 12 mm, then the 16 into 12 will be the one of the value, or 300, whichever is the value, whichever is the smallest value in this three calculations will be your pitch of the transfer. That is nothing but the spacing between the ties. Okay, diameter of the polygonal links or lateral ties shall not be less than 1/4 of the diameter of the largest longitudinal bar. Okay, see here. You have to go with the diameter of the transverse reinforcement, or the what we call the lateral diameter. Okay, that is nothing but the diameter of the polygonal link or lateral tie shall not be less than 1/4 of the diameter of the largest longitudinal bar, and in no case it should be less than 6 mm. You have to go with the 6 mm diameter, or diameter it should be less than the 1/4 of the diameter of your longitudinal bar, largest longitudinal bar. Okay. Okay, here in the diagram I have showed the tie is nothing but, see, in the beam you are provided with your bars, and surrounded it you are using the stirrup. Okay, that is in case of beam. But in case of column, whatever the for the whatever the bar you are provided, and to use as your lateral tie, it is nothing but the diameter. Okay. Okay. There are helical reinforcement. For helical reinforcement, mainly we are not provided with helical reinforcement, but in case of you need to provide the helical reinforcement, you have to go than the 3 into diameter of the steel. Okay, and diameter here, mostly the diameter is provided, go with the diameter of your whatever the bar, longitudinal bar, that is the one, it should be less than the 1/4 of the diameter of your largest longitudinal bar, same as the lateral ties. Okay, and helical reinforcement is mainly provided with go with the circular the column. What the description, or what we call as the for the unit of the design of the column and the column putty. Tomorrow we are going to deal with the different types of and their designs numerical. Okay, so we will going to do the eccentric column as well as loaded with the column. There axial column. There are two types discuss column view with detail. We have today's lecture as it is for the 40 minutes. I'm going to stop here the lecture. Okay. Okay. If anybody has any doubts, you can discuss here. Okay, and we can stop here the lecture. Tomorrow we are going to deal with the different types of okay. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about the actually loaded column and the centric loaded column. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can discuss with